Hi everyone. Thank you for tuning into the third video session in our chronic pain management series. The topic for today is on activity scheduling and safe movement. The purpose of this session is to educate you on how to pace yourself and move safely so that you can do more in your day without increasing your pain symptoms. During this session, we are first going to talk about what activity scheduling is and why it is important for you when managing your pain. Next, we will discuss the concept of activity reorganization, which is a component of activity scheduling. We will then address some common barriers people face when trying to use activity scheduling, and finally, we will go in more detail about ergonomics and safe movement patterns to protect your body when you are completing your activities. So what is activity scheduling? Activity scheduling is a way to organize your day so that you can complete your daily tasks without increasing pain. By thinking about your activities and the skills that are needed to complete the activity beforehand, you can actively prepare and schedule your day in order to maximize your productivity while minimizing your pain symptoms. Activity scheduling is important because you want to be able to complete the activities you need to do or are expected to do, but you don't want to increase your pain symptoms. You want to start by prioritizing your activities. What are the most important activities to you? Do you like to start your day by getting dressed right away? Do you cook yourself breakfast? Do you take care of a family member or friend throughout the day? When prioritizing activities, don't forget to include activities that you enjoy doing, that you find restful. Including those types of activities that still serve an important purpose, even though they don't necessarily always feel productive. Whether that's practicing mindfulness or just taking a walk around the neighborhood or talking with a friend. After you've prioritized what activities are the most important in your day, break down the big things into smaller tasks and create a plan so that you'll be able to complete all necessary activities without becoming fatigued, overstressed, or burnt out. This is similar to creating short-term goals as we discussed during last week's session. When thinking about scheduling activities, there are a few things you should consider. Think about the amount of effort required. How much energy do you need to complete the activity? If it requires a lot of energy, could it be broken down into smaller tasks with breaks in between? Do you need to do heavy lifting, or do you need to be working for an extended period of time, requiring a lot of stamina and endurance? Think about the objects you typically use to complete the task. Do you have access to any equipment that would make the task easier, like an electric mixer versus mixing by hand? Or does the task require equipment that is actually fatiguing to use, like a vacuum that you need to push and pull repeatedly? Think about the space required. Do you have room to freely move around or to take a seat when you are tired? Or are you in a cramped space with little room to move, or even just have little counter space or table space to set things down on? Think about the social demands of the activity. Are other people relying on you to complete the activity? Is there anyone you can rely on for help? Do you have to help take care of children or a loved one? Is there someone to help carry grocery bags into your house or apartment? These are all important aspects to consider when thinking about an activity. Here we have an example of how you can take a busy day and reorganize the activities to hopefully make the day a little more manageable. In the top schedule, we can see that this person decided to have lunch with a friend, run errands, and make dinner back to back to back, which sounds tiring and possibly taxing on the body. But they also watched TV and stretched earlier in the day, which can be relaxing for the body and mind. In the bottom schedule, we reorganized this person's activities so that they are alternating relaxing activities and activities that may require more energy. Alternating rigorous and relaxing activities is a great strategy to help you still accomplish all the things you want, need, or are expected to do within a day, while attempting to limit pain flare-ups and fatigue. When using activity scheduling or developing a plan for the day, barriers may arise. Things come up last minute, a pain flare up comes out of nowhere right before you wanted to start an activity, you're in an unfamiliar environment and don't really feel comfortable. Or you feel comfortable where you are, but you don't feel confident in completing the activity by yourself and don't have someone around to help you. Or you're halfway through an activity and fatigue hits you and you have trouble finishing the activity. Regardless of the barrier, try not to panic. Things happen and nobody is perfect. Instead, take some time afterwards to reflect on the barrier. What may have caused it? And how can you better plan for it in the future? Now we are going to move on to safe movement and positioning, which are also known as ergonomics. It is important to remember that the way you move can impact anything and everything you do. If you do not maintain the most optimal and safest positions, they may create wear and tear on your body over many years. Body positions can be impacted from physical, emotional, and environmental factors. When you are physically injured, you will probably alter the way your body moves to protect the injury. When you are feeling down, you may slouch into the couch for hours at a time, which results in poor posture. Or when feeling stressed, you may hold the body tight and tense, which can be fatiguing for those muscles involved. And from an environmental viewpoint, maybe your kitchen has many high cabinets, so you must reach very high to get plates, cups, or pots and pans, putting strain on your shoulders and back. Or maybe the lowest drawer in your dresser puts strain on your back when reaching that low. This is why it is important to consider the physical, emotional, and environmental factors that can impact body positions and the way you move throughout your day. When thinking about moving safely, the best way to set yourself up for success is to think about how you move before completing an activity. Walk through the movement or activity in your head, picturing how you're going to move, making sure your body is relaxed and trying to keep your head, arms, trunk, and legs in their natural alignment as much as possible. This will decrease the risk of pulling a muscle or aggravating an area of pain. While walking, think about keeping your face forward and shoulders relaxed. Roll your shoulders back and down if you find that they are tense. Gently swing your arms at your sides while you walk. When people are in pain, they generally tense up and hold their arms closer to their body, when actually, swinging our arms while we walk is our body's natural way to move and to keep momentum while walking. Also, think about keeping your feet under your hips. You can do this by taking naturally feeling and safe strides to give you the stability you need while walking. While lifting and carrying objects, no matter how big or small, keep them as close to your body as you can. By doing this, you minimize the stress on your arms, shoulders, and back. When bending over to pick something up, bend at your knees and keep your back straight. This is key. Bending at your hips and/or rounding your back can hurt your back and set you back in completing your daily activities. We'll talk a bit more about this on the next slide. We also recommend minimizing lifting overhead as much as possible. Once again, lifting overhead can put increased stress on your arms, shoulders, and back, even if the items are light. If you can, put the items that you use most often, such as your toothbrush, plates and cups for meals, and day-to-day clothes between hip height and shoulder height. When sitting for long periods, make sure to change your body position at least twice every hour and stretch periodically. Take a few moments to stand up, stretch out, and take a minute or two to walk around the room. This is not only a good thing for your body, but it also helps give your mind a break from whatever you are doing. This slide demonstrates the best way to bend down and pick something up off the floor. You want to bend at the knees and then at the hips. The main goal is to keep your back as straight as possible throughout the whole movement. When you arch your back, that is when you can feel discomfort because all of the weight is putting stress on the back rather than the legs. The legs are our strongest part of our body, so it's always best to try to use them as much as possible. Feel free to pause the video here to really analyze this movement pattern used when picking something up off the floor. Throughout our program, we have heard from many people that sleep can be difficult, and finding a comfortable sleep position is also difficult. This slide demonstrates the most optimal sleeping positions for keeping the body in its best alignment. Starting with the green box, the best sleeping position is sleeping on your back, while having a pillow under your head and under your knees. This position spreads your weight out evenly over your whole back, while the pillow under the knees minimizes stress on your lower back and assists in maintaining the natural curve of your spine. This can prevent muscles in your back from remaining tense while you sleep throughout the night. Next, the orange box pictures a decent position for sleeping. When sleeping on your side, you want to place a pillow under your head and another pillow between your knees and thighs while bending the knees slightly. This position is not as optimal as being on your back, but placing the pillow between your knees can help keep your hips in alignment, which also helps keep your back in a better alignment. If you do sleep on your side, it is best to switch which side you sleep on each night in order to even out your body. And finally, the red box. Sleeping on your stomach is the worst position to sleep in. Laying on your stomach flattens your spine, preventing it from remaining in its natural curved position. Being on your stomach also places extra strain on your back and neck muscles, which can lead to greater discomfort the following day. It can be hard to change the position you sleep in, though, because most of us have slept in the same position for many years, because we find it to be the most comfortable. So this may be a hard habit to break. If you are a stomach sleeper, maybe try just starting on your back or on your side for 10 minutes when you get into bed a few times per week. Once this feels more normal, then you can lay in these more optimal positions for longer periods of time to attempt to decrease the discomfort the following day. On top of your sleep position, it is important to develop a good sleep routine in order to allow time for your body and mind to prepare for bed so it can be a more seamless transition. This could mean turning the TV off an hour before bed, or practicing some meditation or deep breathing exercises to calm the mind and relax the body. Developing a sleep routine can lead to a more full night's rest, which will hopefully lead to a more manageable next day. In summary, these are 4 final tips for using activity scheduling in your day. Firstly, find a good middle ground for your activity level. Don't try to overexert yourself and do too much, but do enough to keep yourself active and your body moving. Remember, small amounts of movement can minimize chronic pain. Secondly, keep in mind how you move your body. Mentally picture how you are going to move before you move. Good body mechanics can minimize pain and fatigue. Thirdly, break up difficult or physically taxing activities into smaller steps. You can spread them out throughout the day, or take breaks between steps. Really listen to your body. Lastly, find space in your day to do activities you enjoy. They are important for you physically, whether they act as a break, such as watching TV, or if they act as a bout of increased activity, such as exercising or cooking. But these activities are also important mentally and emotionally. Doing these activities can boost your mood and distract your mind from possible pain symptoms you may be experiencing. Be sure to prioritize what you need to do, but don't sacrifice what you want to do. That is all that we have for this week's session, so thank you for listening. Please tune in to our future videos to learn about other strategies you can add to your pain management toolbox. And have a great day.